ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Rim Shots with Sean, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk. With me, I have a new friend. I keep meeting these wonderful folks down in south of the border. I have Carlos Arroyo, and you're residing where, sir?
I am living in Mission Viejo, California, Southern
Well,
California.
is that whereabouts is that in proximity to say Los Angeles and Orange County and all that?
It's in Orange County, kind of South Orange County,
Okay.
about 35 miles from Los Angeles.
So I mean, if you may not have an opinion on this, but I'm seeing some social media people are lighting up about the Oakland A's moving to Vegas. Another Oakland team going to Vegas. Any thoughts on that?
Well, you know what? I'm a Yankee fan. I'm originally from New York,
Yeah.
so I pull from my Yankees and I pull from my Mets. So the Oakland teams can go wherever they want. Like I said, I'm true to my Yankees. You know.
There's a great story that two radio stations in Las Vegas have decided they're not going to play Green Day anymore because apparently Billy Joel was he called he's some very disparaging remarks about Las Vegas, and they were like, "That's it, bud. We're not gonna play anymore."
Yeah, I don't put down any city because I want to play there.
Yeah, right. That's just good business. Um, so just before we were starting, you said you're playing in about 7 or 8 bands, which is kind of the norm these days, right? Because I mean, if you want to do anything in music, you have to cross genres, you have to do things to get gigs. It's hard to get shows now. Talk a little bit about that, Carlos.
Yeah, well, originally before COVID, I was doing my band Skull Tone. It's kind of a hard rock and heavy metal band. They're from San Francisco. They moved down here. They needed a guitar player, producer, you know, to do them. So I joined them, and we're doing every month doing a sold out show at the Whiskey, and we're playing, with Great White and Bang Tango and a lot of my friends, people I grew up with, on
Right.
the scene. So we were doing that. But I have my Jimi Hendrix band, Stone Free. It's the ultimate Jimi Hendrix tribute. It's kind of my fun band. I wear the afro, the bell bottoms, and smash guitars and instruments on stage, and it's pretty wild burning stuff up. There's always one guy with a fire extinguisher going, well, just in case he burns the place down. So
Nice.
we're doing that, and it's funny. My Skull Tone band, we're doing sold out shows with major artists, but I make more money dressing up as Jimi Hendrix and playing. So, now I had this young lady, Erin Lee Smith, a little blonde thing, came up to me after a Thanksgiving show and came up to me and she goes, "Hey, I really like your band." She goes, "I really like your band." He goes, I go, "Well, thank you." He goes, "Great show." I go, "Thank you so much." He goes, "Can I audition for you sometime?" I go, Sure. We're always looking for talent." She goes, "Can I audition now?" As we're tearing the stage down, I go, "Well, go ahead." And she was
Yeah.
just an amazing little singer. So we started an Echoes of the Soul band. And that's more kind of the modern music. And she's young, she's 28 and we're ancient, and yeah, so we started doing that band also. But she grew up. I met her mom because she's also an actress. I didn't know, and she wound up playing on Law and Order and doing all these TV shows. She just plays all over the country, So she grew up listening to the '60s. Her mom, and so she was great at doing like Janis Joplin and Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner. She grew up with that stuff. So it's like, okay, so now my Stone Free band's Jimi Hendrix tribute slash '60s tribute, and it gets us more gigs too because she's an amazing vocalist. And then I have the Echoes of the Soul. I have a like you were saying, you got to play in a lot of bands to keep
Yeah.
busy. I have a band with a bunch of my friends I've had for years called Off the Menu, and we do acoustic classic rock unplugged stuff. So we're doing like the Who and Pink Floyd all on acoustics, and it's going over really, really well. And then I play, I've been sober. I'll be sober 31 years next month in October. So I do a lot of work
Congrats.
with recovery. So I did a favor 12 years ago and did a recovery show at the Crossing for Lifelines, and now it's been 12 years and I'm playing there all the time. Actually have a show there tomorrow. We're doing a show there tomorrow. So it's and then I help other bands, the Anonymous band, their friends. Every time they have a gig, is, "Hey, can you play?" I never say no. So I go and I play with them also. So and I have a friend that has a Bad Company tribute, And he goes, "You remember that stuff?" Because yeah, it's three. Yeah, I can do that. So whenever they have a big show, can you play? So it's like, yeah, yeah. So I'm always playing, always playing.
So all these different projects that you have, and uh, with relation to where you live, like what's the radius of where you travel to play, and how plentiful are the gigs in your backyard? Do you have to go all over the place? How does that typically work?
Well, Southern California is just there's a million places to play. But it's I've gotten so busy lately locally that I've had to turn down shows. I was supposed to play in Houston last Saturday, but I had a show Saturday in town, so I couldn't make it. I'm playing Friday night, and they offered me a show to do it in Dallas, Texas, in Saturday, but I can't logistically. I just can't do it. They have a show for me in Atlanta, so I'm hoping we'll see what happens with the. We have a hurricane coming through
Yeah.
tonight. Through the southeast. So we'll see how things develop through there. But I'm trying to push those shows. I go, let's do it do it in the spring and do a show of the South, a tour of the South, because they've been asking for. And again, it's my Hendrix band that they want to come. They want me to
Right.
come play down there and have some fun.
So up here in Canada, like I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is east coast of Canada, and it can be everything from super vibrant to just okay. Atlantic Canada, which is our four provinces, can be the same. As you start moving towards Toronto and west, bigger cities and things work better. But every time I talk to people in the States, at least lately, it seems like everybody that wants to be busy is busy. How are you getting all these gigs? I think there might be a message in there for us, we Canadians up here.
Well, for us, I have a few agents that I work with, and then with Christina, Avila, who got our gig today, who
Yeah.
hooked us up. She's amazing. She's always calling me with, "Hey, I've got a radio interview, or I've got a magazine that wants to do an article." But we came out with my Skull Tone band. We're recording an album before COVID, and then COVID hit, so we didn't get to finish. I do a lot of the producing and engineering, so I didn't get to go in the studio and finish it because of COVID. And then after COVID, it's like, okay, hey, let's finish this up. Let's book some shows. And then, unfortunately, our young guitar player, 25 years old, Josh, college kid, just graduated college, got his engineering degree. He was really a smart kid, really, really smart kid. And Mother's Day, wound up making a call, and he got some cocaine, which we didn't know he did. We figured college kids, they all drink and smoke pot. They all do.
Yep. Yep.
I remember doing that when I was a kid, and,
Yeah.
and it wound up being laced, and his dad found him dead on the floor. So that kind of, no one wanted to continue except Doc, the singer, and I. So we didn't get to go back in and finish, so we released it because the company wanted us to hurry up and release it because they already had a CD party going up in Hollywood. So we did that, and I got some studio members to do that. And then Doc, we've had a few medical issues, Doc and stuff, so waiting for him to kind of recuperate all the way so we can get back to doing that. But yeah, the Southern California, there's everything from every city. In Orange County, for instance, every city does city concerts once a week.
Well,
So there's always, you can go Monday through Sunday and play in some city in Orange County and do
well,
big outdoor shows. And then there's so many places to play here. There's a million bands, so you really got to kind of got to do your homework and get out there to play these gigs.
so what's the differentiator between say what you're doing and the other million bands that are all trying to get gigs? Do you think?
Well, it's getting your foot in the door.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing, is getting your foot in the door with whoever's producing these, or getting in with the city. I do a program. Uh, I help a friend, and he has a program that he feeds 3,000 people every Monday.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's through the city of Buena Park, and it goes through Santa Ana and through Orange. So now those cities are recognizing us. Well, you guys also play, so we need to start getting you in that circle. So it's kind of just networking. You got to network it from one city to another, because that's what it is. You got to put in the work. You know, you
Um,
can't just sit and wait for a gig.
Thank you for saying that, because normally I bring up networking and everybody in my circle collectively rolls their eyes and goes, ah. However, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that, because I don't feel it's about broken record. I did an interview earlier today. My life is networking. Like everything I've done, any success if I've had any, everybody that I've met that's come into my life that I've helped or has helped me, um, is all because of networking. Just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, without a doubt. I used to have a day gig. I was vice president for a relocation company. We did like corporate mergers and things like that. And I tried to find every meeting, any kind of network meeting, where I knew,
Yeah.
oh, the president of IBM was going to be there, the guy from ABC company is going to be there, Disney's going to be there, and I made sure I was at those meetings. And it's you've got to meet the people that can help you. And you know what? And a lot of those people really want to help. You know, they like enthusiasm, and you do. I used to network. I worked 7 days a week, around the clock. I was, I gave up sleeping in the '60s. So I would always I love networking opportunities, because you never know who you're going to meet. I've met people like that and wind up with the city of LA, and helping them out on some eminent domain projects. Where they're taking over the whole block because they're putting in new train stations or things like that.
Mhm.
And through that, when COVID had hit, they shut everything down. And I have someone that's on the board of Disney, and she called and needed a favor for me to help her. And I go, I can't. We're shut down. She goes, give me 5 minutes. And next thing you know, she goes, you get check your email. I open it up. There's a letter from the mayor of Los Angeles saying, no, he is allowed to work and his company is allowed to work. And that's all from working with the people from Disney, networking with the people from LA. You've got to be where the people are.
It's a fine line. Some people, I've had a couple people in the last week or two say it's not networking, it's nepotism, and I totally disagree with that, because nepotism to me, the connotation for that, or my opinion of that, is that it's a very, very, very small group of people that don't let anybody else into it, and they kind of pick and choose the opportunities and farm them out. Versus networking, anybody can get in if they do the right things and help the right people and do it the right way. Well, would you agree with me?
Well, yeah, I agree with you. It's like I was saying, because I tried to go to every meeting I could find. My agents, when I was in my band Dungeon in the '80s, and we were touring and songs on the radio and everything else, he would call me and he goes, "Hey, Stevie Nicks is having a party. I got you an invite. You got to go, because everyone's going to be there." Or even the Laugh Company, the Laugh Stop, the comedy stores, stuff like this. He says, celebrities are there, and you got Robin Williams in there. You've got all these celebrities. You've got to meet these people. And he goes, I got a reservation, table for two. Go down there, start meeting people. And it's paid off. It's really paid off. I've been blessed to be able to play with some of my idols. I've done shows with Michael Shanker, and I've done with Vinnie Moore, Great White. Did a great show with Dennis Quaid. He has a band that's amazing. They've been together 20 years, all original members. And
Hmm.
we did a sold out show with them at the Whiskey, and we just had a blast. But that, again, a lot of it, like I said, going with Christina, helping so much, and just you've got to be there. You've got to go to where they are, and just
Uh,
get in there, introduce yourself.
yeah, I one of the things that I've been blessed through. I mean, my podcast was it wasn't a mistake or an accident, but it was a COVID thing. I was in a band. I'm playing 100 and some odd shows a year, and then everything gets shut down. And hey, I need content for something. I'll just interview my musician buddies, and that's kind of how it started, right?
Right.
Um, but I've been blessed to meet an awful lot of cool people. And one of the things that I find about these cool people that I've been blessed to meet is, if you go about it the right way and you ask them for advice and you don't come across as you're looking for something or you want a handout or whatever, they are very willing to share advice and very willing to help you out with particular things that you're looking to accomplish.
So true, so true. And like I said, I've done that and the same thing like you, done it in the things I do, and like I say, and most people want to help. Most people want to see other people succeed. I help every young musician I know. I give advice. I do School of Rock. A friend will call, hey, can you do a School of Rock for these young kids? I go, sure, but it's like you were saying, it's being there, it, it's it's just meeting these people and asking. Like I say, anybody asks, people call me a professional volunteer because I never say no. I'm doing the
Well,
Special Olympics this Saturday. I've
right.
been there's logistic manager for 28 years. My knees are shot, and they go, like, well, can you at least we'll get you a cart? Can you help us run the game? So it's like you say, you got to go out and meet people, and most people are really willing to help.
Yeah, and when you find a good volunteer, you want to do anything humanly possible to make sure that they are appreciated and taken care of. And I have a couple in my life that, you know, I just make sure that they just feel like they're appreciated all the time because it's hard to find people that will do that.
Yeah, I've had friends since the '70s that have helped me set up my stage and they've been my road crew on the road, and they're still to this day. Oh, you have a show when? Oh, next Saturday? I can fly in,
Yeah.
and they come in and they volunteer. You know, a lot of times I can't pay them, but he goes, I know the money's not in it. He goes, but I'm coming down. I still since the '70s, and they're
Yeah.
still coming down to my shows, helping out. Hey, I'll help set up the stage. I'll carry your amps. I'll whatever it takes, so that we all have some fun.
Be interested to get your take on this because you're Orange County by way of New York. So I mean, New York is a big bustling city, and I learned something the other day. I interviewed somebody, and Long Island is different than Manhattan in terms of the scene and whatnot, which is great for me to hear. Um, I'd be interested to get your take on. People talk sometimes about it doesn't matter where you live, you can kind of make a go of it, regardless if you work your network properly. And then some other people say, well, if you're living in a better area, it works out better for you. What would you say to that?
I've played everywhere from big cities to small little towns and things. It's people appreciate people. So
Yeah.
you get out there and you do the best. You help them, they help you. Every place can be your dream place to play and to live. People are now in California. Everyone's that dream of sunny California, but they're leaving California to go all over the country. Now you got places in Texas, in Idaho. I mean, that are booming because people are moving and making their own opportunities out there.
Last question, sir. I would love to, because you got a bunch of bands, but where can viewers find out about what you're up to? Because I've got a lot of people that follow me down in the LA area, in the Phoenix area, in Nevada. Where can some of my West Coast friends find out more about you?
Oh, you can go to Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, YouTube, and you'll see a Skulltone, Scultone, and you'll see podcasts in there. Podcasts. Our newest albums on there. Just you can download it for free. Do that. You can go to Carlos Arroyo or Carlos Fernando Arroyo, Carlos Arroyo musician on Facebook. You can go to Carlos Arroyo on Instagram because I'm always posting. So there's always something going on. I'm always posting about every gig we're doing, and I do a lot. Like I say, I do a lot of work with recovery. So I'm always posting things about the shows we do with recovery, and then my email is arro7p@aol.com. Anyone wants to get a hold of me, they can always email me. That's always the easiest way because I'm always on the run.
Fantastic. Carlos, I want to thank you for doing this, man. It was a pleasure meeting you, and let's stay in touch because I like your vibe, my friend.
Thank you. It was great. I had fun, and let's do it again soon.
Peace.
Peace.